104.9 FM Wrbb Boston. This is the Queen of Snakecharma. Shout out to So Blanc. She just left the building. Dope artist. Make sure you go and follow her. Now up next, hey, camera guy. I got a superstar in the building. Let me let you know I got a superstar in the building. Shout out to Exitfame. He's with me today.
Yes. You
Good
already
morning.
We live. Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, we're live real quick. Shout out to you. Good morning.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Good morning.
So, Exitfame.
Yes.
Let's start off with, how did you get that name?
Pretty much the name Exitfame. It's crazy you say that as I'm writing my book with Teresa Wrights, publicist and everything.
Publicist.
My name pretty much came, I was in a serious time in my life, and I was actually in a halfway house, just as you know, I'm in, you know what I mean, in recovery. I stand strong on that. Shout out AA, NA. And Exitfame was I exit me to enter myself. And as I was doing the work and everything that I was learning, to remove my ego from myself. And as you know, or the people that don't know, I did music before, and I was Fame Flint. And I represented something different at that time. And as I was coming back in, kind of use the Eminem 8 Mile effect. I'm gonna just give you everything, all my flaunts. You can't use nothing against me. I'm gonna put it out there. And Exitfame is just a reminder to stay in who I actually am. And I'm Eric. You know, that's what that is.
Reborn. Redemption.
104.9 FM Wrbb Boston. That was a snippet. You can't get the whole thing yet. You gotta get the man first. Shout out to Exitfame. How are you this morning?
I'm blessed and highly favored. You already know.
Absolutely.
Feeling well, feeling good. In good spirit.
So I want to give everyone a short bio of who you are as an artist and also as a man. Who is Exitfame? You told us the definition of your name earlier.
Right.
And let's tap more into who you are.
Pretty much, man. I'm just I'm God's child, man. I'm from Boston, Mass, man.
What part of Boston?
I'm on the line, you know what I mean? My street separates Roxbury and Dorchester, face the street. It separates it. yeah, like that whole section. But yeah, man, I'm just a person that at this point in life, just overcoming all the trials and tribulations, and just using all my pain and all my afflictions just to help anybody that's in the dark, or inspire those that are really in it, where I really come from, and just trying to take it at this point worldwide, man. And I believe in it, I see it. So I'm a father, you know what I mean? And
how many kids you got?
I got 3, you know what I mean? Shout out Inaya, shout out Briella, you know what I mean? My son, man, and Maria's boy.
How is it being a dad and an artist? How's that?
So, being real, with me, a lot of my life, selfish decisions that were made, just not being who I was, took a lot of years away from me and my children. And I think I said it on one record on my album. I remember while we're all laughing in the living room, my daughter, at the time 15, she was like, yeah, it took you 15 years to get it right, you know what I mean? And even though we was laughing, it hit my soul, because now she's 16 and I'm being there. So it's an adjustment, coming in light, you know what I mean? Treading lightly with my son, trying to be hands-on in that situation, with my middle daughter, Briella, doing the things I was supposed to be doing. But with my oldest, finding the balance between being a supporter, friend, and being a dad, and understanding I just don't come into a life just making choices. So it's an adjustment.
So what was the hardest part of your adjustment?
Thank God for my mother and my family and the church community. My daughter grew up well protected and sheltered while I wasn't there, and her situation with mom's. The hardest part, I would say, is, and this is, maybe this guy's out there that can relate to this, I'm more like a brother than a father. And crossing over into fatherhood, instead of being like that, if that makes sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you know, because everyone have different levels of strictness. So my father might have been stricter than yours, or my father might have been more like a brother type father.
Right.
And, you know, and a lot of people wish they had that in a mother and father where they could relate to one another, or it ain't just the authoritative figure rules.
Right.
So, you know, a lot of kids, you know, they kind of like respect that as well.
Do your kids like your music?
No.
Hey, no.
You know, I mean, man, you don't even understand. Like my oldest, she's like my biggest hater, but at the same time, it's like I be making these records and trying to get appealing because the young generation, they kind of depict sometimes what's hot and what's not. So my youngest, she loves it. Yeah, she's like, yeah, my dad's on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, do TikTok stuff. So we're trying, man. I'm in a different bracket than what they're used to, but the crossover. So they let me know that where I need to sharpen up at. Before I go to shows, my daughter's like, take those socks off. They look like, you know what I mean? Like,
my son does that too. But sometimes I don't know. Like, when my son says I don't look good, I think I look good. So I'll be like, if he tells me I don't look good, that means I look good.
Right.
Kids are tricky. They'll be like, hold on, you look too good. Nope, you don't look good.
Right. You could learn a lot from kids.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
why I
like,
asked. Yeah.
Especially like, you know, when she said the TikTok, like you should really look into it because you know,
a lot of songs
as us being our age.
Yeah, shout out Pretty Jones and Ung Dange, man. Like they're telling me like my daughter, like she does flips and all that. Like she wants to do it, man. Like, so definitely something to break into. Definitely, I feel you.
So as you've been getting busy back into the music scene, how do you feel the city? We'll talk about Boston. How do you feel like they're receiving you? I know that you got real personal when you shared your story about addiction, and I build, shout out to AA, and I have so many resources on my page, and they're one of the entities that I build with, so I respect what they do for people and the people that actually, you know, step forward and shine light in areas that other people aren't doing, and you're doing that. So you sharing your story and just keeping it real and letting people know how that impacted you and the losses you have. That takes a lot of courage for one. How are the people around you, like how they?
I understand the question. I get it.
Yeah, is it difficult for you? Do you get like?
And that's where and for me that's really where God kicks in. He and like I tell people you know what I mean? I'm not no religious person. Hip hop, if anything, is my religion. I'm a spiritual person, and with blending the two, and including the message with my music, but at the same time making sure it touches where I come from. And that's where it comes down to the pen game. You can the real MCs and the lyricists, they'll never deny a real lyricist, and I really stand on that. And for the city of Boston right now, where it's at with music. Even from my 7-8 year hiatus, I think, it probably goes by errors because when the OGs were doing it, but who knows? But for me right now, I think if anything, there's like an explosion. There's something happening right now with just New England, period, where it's starting to be recognized in the industry, where we're making strides. We got Joyner, we got Bia, we got Millie's, we got and there's a few more, you know what I mean, that are right there, you know what I mean. So. If anything, if it's time, it look like it's coming. You know, and I'm trying to be there.
Long time coming.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of people in the industry who got names during this era than it was in the past. You know, in the past, we really probably only had Benzino or LOG. So now, you know, like you said, Millie's, Smoke, Joyner. So, you know,
Smoke, totally,
yeah. So.
Definitely, man, and even when you go back to those days, like I had no idea there was so many Boston writers on the Chronic album.
Oh yeah.
People don't even know that.
I never knew
shout
that.
Out to Durain.
Man, we here. You know what I mean? We're here, so it's happening now, man. Shout out to the OGs, the wise guys, and the whole everybody, man. You know what I
And
mean?
how's that? Now let me ask you that. How is it dealing with the OGs, the people that was in the game before you? Do you feel like you're getting the love that?
Yeah, like right now, I got the honor right now to open up for Terminology coming up, and you know what I mean, and just that whole like what he was with Gangstar Guru, you know what I mean, got some you know what I mean, under that Premiere, you know what I mean, Big Shug, like that opens up that whole umbrella. So I'm really looking forward to seeing those dudes, you know what I mean, like, and just paying homage and paying my dues as I'm going on, you know what I mean. So looking forward to that. But there's a few of them that I met, you know what I mean, that just be like I said, one lyricist to another that just, you know what I mean, like,
you can't deny them.
They can't, they
got the buzz. I don't care. Like, I don't even care. You know,
right. They respect it. They respect it. They always respect it.
Yeah. And you write all your own music?
Oh yeah.
Everything.
I'm writing 24/7, like literally. If you see me, I'm on the thing. Like it's practice perfect makes preparation. Whatever that quote is.
Proper preparation prevents
the P's, the things they teach you in the programs I was in. The 5 P's, man. I'm a firm believer in that.
And you was on time, and I'm a firm believer of building great relationships, and that made me proud. He was like 10 minutes early today. Yeah, that's dope. Okay, another question. So when creating music, what kind of atmosphere do you like? Where some people write on the toilet, some people write in the car with their friends and ciphers, some people write as soon as they get up in the morning. What do you need to create? Name some things.
My creating process and recording process is two different things.
Okay.
Writing, usually I have a routine where I pray at the water every morning, and I'm checking those emails, and it's like you play a beat for me, you'll know I'm on it. Like, shout out to all the producers that don't take this, you know what I mean, I'm like dissing anybody, but there's sometimes a beat moves my spirit. I know what a producer goes through to make stuff, and sometimes a certain beat hears me, there's a certain sound, and it rings off in my head. I start writing to it instantly, and I do it right on my phone. I text myself, and so all my verses are in my phone, and I back them up. So you never know, you know what I mean. But memorizing is totally different. But my recording process, it's all business with me when I get in the booth. As you know, I don't drink, I don't smoke. It's not a party when we get up in there.
Listen, so as far as your recovery and that goes, do you face any challenges dealing with artists and individuals who are smoking and drinking in the studios? Because that, like, I know that one of the things that they teach is sometimes you have to remove
people, places, and things.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So how do you do it?
Well, so for me, it comes with this. It comes with the game. Like that's people's creative processes. I'm fortunate enough to have a team that knows that this thing ain't gonna work unless this man's thinking clear.
Right.
Because they know there's a monster inside there,
absolutely.
and the things that I did while using, they respect it, they protect it, and we go to shows, ask the promoters, shout out all of them. That boy's in and out. I don't, you know what I mean? Like it's, I don't know. It's just at this point, shout out mathematics, man. Like we're just representing, just being proud to be sober. Like this is how the greats do it. You know what I mean? Not taking away from anybody.
Let's play the track. I didn't play none of your music. Let's play Drug Addiction. Introduce it. Let's play this track. Y'all.
Shout out Drug Addiction. This is from my man Mathematics. This is
Life of the party, at least I thought I was. Ironic, I went to blow when I caught a buzz. And not from music, man. Talking drug abusing, man. If it took me out my head, you bet the rent I use again.
One of the hardest parts coming out of addiction, like when you first came out, did you have any urges to go back, and the people that you used to be using around and using with, and you see them and they still using, did they try to welcome you back into that type of community?
I think anybody understands that in recovery or in the process of it, when you start getting clean, you might walk down the street and see an 8-ball on the floor. Like that's how the devil play.
Right.
And shout out the halfway houses. Shout out the people that tried to sponsor me in the beginning process, and the people I work with. And there's certain stuff that they teach you at these meetings, like meeting makers make it. getting into this 12 steps, and
Right.
winners roll with winners, the losers roll with losers, and in the end of the day, like I'm a supervisor at a detox, and the end of the day,
ahead.
it's you gotta want it.
Yeah.
At least want change.
Yeah,
And when you want the
where it
change,
starts.
that part, we call it the gift of desperation. And when the gift of desperation comes, you're willing to listen. If you ain't, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And at that point in time in my life, when you really go to hell, like, you know where we come from and the stuff that we see on Blue Hill Lab, everything that we're taught that was not cool, I was in that.
Oh, okay.
And
He was at the bottom.
right, the bottom, and I tell people, you know what I mean, that little moment of pleasure, that little moment of feeling good, it comes with more than $40.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big price.
It comes with a lot of consequences.
Yeah.
So, and when you dealing with consequences, it's like you challenging yourself, and you challenging yourself to be better or worse. So, like, how do your parents feel, or how do your loved ones feel, and all that you're doing well these days? Like, what's the feeling that you get from them?
You know, for my mother, who went through hell with me. My father died with drug addiction, everything, and we've been through it, and we are in a good season now. And I just see that lady smiling, man. You know what I mean? In the church, the people are like, I probably got like 30 mothers in there, and shout out Paula, shout out my mother. It's too many to name, but they proud, bro. And that's the stuff I try to tell them. The more clean time you get and you keep going, is the more reasons that we have not to use again.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm accumulating, more reasons and more reasons not to pick up the first one, because the second one's mandatory, all that kind of stuff, man.
And you know, just making your mother smile make you smile.
Yeah, man.
Just
She
like-
been through it, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
she
So
been
now we
through
trying
it.
to pay her credit off. We trying to get her a house with this
Yeah.
stuff, man. Like, that's what it's about now.
Yeah.
She deserves that.
And okay, so let's get to this music. You
Right.
just dropped an album,
Yeah,
right?
may God be with you. I brought you, I brought your own copy of it.
Thank you.
You got it, you got it.
Thank you. And okay, so who inspired you to come up with this name and this concept? Like, did you do it? What happened? Break down this album.
So my first project last year, was it last year? About last year, I released Via Con Dios. So it was something my mother always said, go with God, and just keeping the theme. I keep God. If you know me, I keep God first in everything I do, and may God be with you, because I not only represent addiction. I was in the street life too before the drugs started, and it's just choices that we make, and excuse me, may God be with you, man. It's self-explanatory, you know what I mean? Like,